DM for organizing this. And all those Hong Kongers around Canada, we're organizing together to express the Canadian wish and the Canadian want. I'm a member of Parliament from Steveston, Richmond East in British Columbia, and I'm here to deliver you some updates about our Canadian Parliament. I just want to let you know that Canada hears. We notice. In our Parliament, there is a Canada-China Relations Special Committee, or in short, the China Committee. We have already had 2 special hearings on the issues, on the situation of Hong Kong, and we are going to have 2 more such special hearings, drawing on witnesses, how the Hong Kong NSL is impacting Canadians, how the NSL is impacting freedom and democracy and people's human rights in Hong Kong. So just want to assure you that we hear, that we understand, that we notice. And this is not a partisan thing. I'm a conservative parliamentarian representing BC, but I have colleagues from around the country, from Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, Quebec, Ontario, all the way to Western Canada. We all are very concerned about what happened in Canada, in Hong Kong right now. The Magnitsky Act has been mentioned many times, but did you know the Canada version of Magnitsky Act, what's it called? It's actually quite suitable for Hong Kong. It's called Justice for Victims of Foreign Corrupt Officials Act. I think this is great if our government, our Liberal government, finally succumb to public opinion and decide to actually use the Magnitsky Act against officials who are directly responsible for such atrocity in China with the Uyghurs, in Hong Kong with the students. Yesterday, we celebrated 75th anniversary of the victory from Japan. In other words, the end of the Second World War. Hong Kong was liberated on yesterday, 75 years ago. Did you know it was a Canadian officer who actually landed in Hong Kong and liberated Hong Kong and the POWs in Hong Kong? Did you know that he's a Chinese? His name is William Law. Lieutenant William Law was the first officer in the British Commonwealth, and he was able to be the representative on behalf of all Allied forces stepping foot on Hong Kong and receiving the surrendering of the Japan imperialists. This is something that is very important to us, as many of us are ethnic Chinese in Canada. And not only so, did you know Lieutenant William Law, after he finished the war, he also got a law degree from Oxford University, and he resided in Hong Kong. He died in 2012 in Hong Kong. Canada and Hong Kong are intertwined. We're 2 liberty. We're 2 society that are cherishing our freedom of speech, our freedom of demonstrations, our freedom of rights. You can see that earlier today here there are religious practitioners protesting, and there are people who are expressing their opinion against wearing a mask. We are a free society, but this freedom that Canadian enjoys, it's now under threat. It's under the same threat as Hong Kong and many people in China. I ask that you pay attention to our country as well. I love to advocate for the people of Hong Kong. I love to bring to the attention of my colleagues in Parliament about the situation in China. But our Prime Minister has shut down our government since March. We have no parliament in operation. Did you know that even during Second World War, we still conduct our parliamentary affairs as usual? Did you know that in the UK, during the peak of pandemic, they were still conducting their parliamentary business? Did you know that in Victoria, right now, our provincial legislation is still sitting? Parliament, a member of Parliament will be able to advocate for many of our constituents. Right now, there is very little revenue for us. So therefore, I ask that you also pay attention to what happened in Canada with so much scandals happening daily, weekly. We need to bring our government to account, exercise our democracy so that Canada can be more proactive in responding to the atrocities around the world. Canada cares, Canada hears. We understand that it is insanity to bring somebody, into incarceration and into charges just because they shout a few slogans that are not sanctioned, such as "Liberate Hong Kong," "Revolution Now," or in Cantonese, it's called but our Mandarin compatriots, they may not understand. So in Mandarin is it is insane not to have freedom of speech, isn't it? So it's upon us to protect the Canadian freedom of speech and freedom and our democracy. We still have 2 Michaels that are still being incarcerated. Before I came here, I used Google Earth and figured out 7 kilometers from here, Meng Wanzhou is still living in his multi-million-dollar mansions, making her dumplings. And where is our Michaels today? Shame! So I need your help to bring justice, to bring democracies to Canada so that we can actually influence the world, to exercise the Magnitsky Act sanction against all these foreign corrupt officials. Thank you very much.